And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him, with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us, or for our adversaries? And he said, I come in the name of the Lord. Now let's stop this deal, make America great again, and tell the world Biden is a communist. And behold, Joshua did as Trump the Messiah commanded him, walking around Jericho until all the Dominion voting machines came toppling down. Hey YouTube, how's it going? My name's Jonathan Alex, and this last weekend, one of the stupidest marches ever took place in the National Mall in Washington, D.C., the Jericho March. Since the election took place in November, there have been a lot of different Stop the Steal marches, but this is the one that really stood out to me, not just because of who was talking, although but also because this was the most brazen attempt I've seen yet to combine Christianity with, I'm going to call it, the Church of Trump. Now there was a lot that happened at this 6-hour-long event, but one of the things the organizers wanted people to know right away is that this march wasn't just about the sitting president, it was about America.
This actually is not about President Donald J. Trump. This is about the presidency of the United States of America. It is about the fabric of the Constitution of the United States of America.
This is not about Donald Trump. This is about the United States of America, the last bastion on the face of the earth where you can run to. And the only thing standing between them and us and New World Order is not Donald Trump's, our Constitution.
You hear that? This is not about Donald Trump. This is about stopping the New World Order and preserving our God-given liberties. Except no part of that is true. For all of the talk about God and freedom and defending the US Constitution, the Jericho marchers were only there for one thing, and it's not even like they tried to hide it for that long.
You are all patriots who are stepping up and doing what the RNC and the Washington elites will not. Fight for our president, Donald J. Trump.
For a guy that should have gone and played golf or run his hotels, he gave up everything. And look at the garbage that they have put him through.
Donald Trump never stopped fighting for us, so we will not stop fighting for him.
I marched proudly to the polls to vote for him in 2020 because he is someone who cares about America more than he cares about his own self, his own business, his own reputation.
Amidst all the games of golf and all the tweets, Donald Trump just fought for us so hard. He never backed down, and we're not gonna back down either. We'll keep fighting until he can be our democratically elected president until he dies. And no one's gonna take the presidency away from him because he loves democracy so much. But you know what? I'm actually being unfair to these people. The Jericho marchers weren't there because they wanted to make Donald Trump dictator. No, nothing that ridiculous. They're actually prophets, and they had visions about the future of America under Donald Trump.
I had a traditional vision, a prophetic vision of your traditional Moses, Charlton Heston, standing up on the rock, and behind him there was a dry place in the Red Sea, and the sand was completely dry. There was no water puddles. It was a complete clear way. And Moses stood up and he took his rod and he pointed it at the dry place at where the Red Sea had parted. And there were sheep on the front line. Oh, you're not hearing me. There were sheep on the front line. No, you're not hearing me. There were sheep on the front line. And like a banana, the sheep's face peeled back. And inside was the Lion of the tribe of Judah.
There were sheep, I tell you. No, you're not hearing me. There were sheep. And I peeled those sheep like bananas. Tasty bananas. And inside those bananas were lions. Kind of like the lion I'm doing right now by saying I had this vision from God. Now, if you think a guy ranting about his vision of sheep and banana peels is the weirdest this event could get, you would be completely wrong. Because not only were prophetic dreams a recurring thing throughout the entire 6 hours, they also had some other special guests. They had an exorcism specialist come and cast out all of the demons from the event, and they had a self-described expert in witchcraft come and curse all of the witches who disliked Donald Trump.
My name is Father Greg Bramlich. I'm a Catholic priest of 25 years. I specialize in exorcism and deliverance. Come, white-robed army of martyrs. Come pure and noble throng of virgins. Come to our aid, St. Raphael, St. Gabriel, all you holy angels and saints. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter this space of 5,000 miles in all directions.
This is what I learned about witchcraft. You got to tell a witch, you got to look them right in the eye and says, I'm coming after you. This is your last day. This is your last time. Every curse you cursed against our president and against our nation is going to double fold back on your head. The Jericho walls must come down.
Now, say what you will about that guy, I think it's pretty clear that he feels any injustice in America is wrong. I think he and I would have very strong differences about what that injustice actually is, but at least the organizers of the Jericho March care enough that they're willing to give people like that a chance to air their grievances in public without any distractions or sponsorships or advertisements. Who am I kidding? You know what came on the official live stream of the Jericho March in the middle of this guy's speech, while he was passionately ranting about the horrible Jericho walls in America coming down and about justice being brought to our government today? You can't even make this up. It was a freaking ad for a pillow.
The walls must come down. God is about to consecrate America again. There's going to be a new priesthood. There's going to be a new anointing. The church is about to rise with the Levitical priesthood, and they will be consecrated.
Okay, honestly, just imagine for a second that you were the guy on stage ranting about witches while holding a shofar. You would expect that the mainstream media would call you crazy after the event was done. You wouldn't be surprised when random people walking past gave you weird stares and they didn't really know what you were talking about. You probably wouldn't even be surprised if some of the people in the audience weren't exactly following what you were saying. But imagine how demoralizing it would be if you found out that the sponsors, the organizers of the event, the people who recruited you to come and talk, care so little about what you're actually saying that they put visitmypillow.com in huge letters underneath your speech, and they make you split screen with random people showing off their pillows. Let me just say right here and now that I would never do something like that on my channel. We need to right the wrongs in America today, give everyone a voice in government, make sure all people have a say in our democracy, and... anyone want 10% off on a pillow? Now, the funniest thing about this MyPillow sponsorship is that it came up many times throughout the course of the event. Not only did the split screen ad show up in multiple different speeches, but even Michael Flynn, the headline speaker for the event, couldn't stop himself from throwing in a direct plug for MyPillow before he started talking.
You know, I was going to end with a prayer, but maybe we'll start with a prayer. I told Mike Lindell as he was walking and we bumped into each other, I actually had the first good sleep of my life last night. So, mypillow.com, I'll give him a commercial.
Guys, what I'm about to say is really important, and I think we should start off my speech by praying for the future of our country. Praying that we'd all get a good night's sleep, am I right? But you know, maybe it was strangely appropriate that the organizers of the Jericho March were grifting for pillows the entire time, because after one special speaker gave his address, I think everyone was going to need some time to decompress.
In the spirit of unity, I'd like to bring out my new friend, Alex Jones, is it? I think his name is Alex Jones.
So yes, you saw that right. In an event which featured a freaking Catholic bishop, the organizers of the Jericho March decided it would be appropriate to give Alex Jones a primetime speaking spot. I don't know what they were expecting, but Alex Jones did not disappoint.
World government, implantable microchips, Satanism, it's out of the open. The Bible is fulfilled. You look at the miserable globalist. You look at people like Bill Gates, and you look at people like Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of them, and the satanic globalists trying to take control of us and trying to play God are fallen and are failed. They are miserable slaves of Satan. We will never surrender. We will never back down to the satanic, pedophile, globalist, New World Order.
Okay, I'm just trying to put myself into the heads of one of the Jericho marchers here. You have an event, right? You get a decently sized crowd to turn out. You get Michael Flynn to speak. You're talking about how the election was stolen. You're passionately making your case. You're not giving any evidence, but clearly you have a lot of people who come out and want to hear what you have to say. And then your first thought is, let's give Alex Jones the mic? Like, clearly there's a lot about the Jericho March which is really easy to make fun of, but there's also another side to it too, and maybe the fact that they invited Alex Jones wasn't even that surprising. The organizers of the event had a message they wanted people to take away, and you can't call that message anything but extreme.
President Trump has been betrayed at every step of the way. The founders, in their wisdom, gave him a tremendous power as president and the commander-in-chief. He needs to use that now. He needs to invoke the Insurrection Act and suppress this insurrection.
So I guess I don't have a speech as much as I have a warning to the establishment. We will shut this country down. We believe in some good trouble, right? Maybe some Make America Great Again trouble, right?
We believe in some good trouble. Maybe some Make America Great Again trouble. Look, 4 people were stabbed after this event. 23 people were arrested. When you build a movement that's based upon telling people everything the government does is tyrannical, everything the news reports is a lie, and that Donald Trump should be president for the rest of time, you shouldn't be surprised when people go out and do crazy stuff for the cause. In fact, you should expect it. And you want to know what the truth is? The organizers of the event knew this was going to happen. Look at what Eric Metaxas, the MC of the event, said after one of the guys threatened there would be a bloody civil war if they forced Trump out.
He needs to know from you that you are with him, that if he does not do it now while he is commander-in-chief, we're going to have to do it ourselves later in a much more desperate, much more bloody war. Let's get it on now while he is still the commander-in-chief. Hooah!
Uh-oh. God bless you. This guy's keeping it real.
This guy's keeping it real. You know what's real? The fact that the Jericho March is a dangerous movement with an un-American fundamental philosophy. Look, the Jericho March was 6 hours, and sitting through all of it is definitely not something I'd wish upon anyone else. I don't really have any brilliant insights to offer after watching it, no amazing conclusions about the fundamental philosophies of the people organizing it, or some insight into where the movement fits within American history, but honestly, the organizers of the event didn't have any brilliant message to share at the end either. In the end, there was really only one thing they wanted people to take away.
It's been a great honor to cover this with you, and as you know, the only reason why we're able to do things like this is because of our partners like MyPillow, and when you support them, they support us. Go to mypillow.com, use promo code RSBN for up to 66% off your order.
If you're preparing yourself for a violent civil war to end the United States as we know it, you might as well get a good night's sleep beforehand. Give me a break.
This guy's keeping it real.
Wrong.